Welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sean.
Here we are, doing the podcast, doing it on a Tuesday night, because we were lazy over the weekend, and there was a wrestling pay-per-view. Pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was definitely...
There you go.
That was actually quite good.
Did you like my song?
Yeah. It's actually much better than I actually would have...
Then you
I was expecting. I was like, oh... You've gotten better at creating impromptu musicals.
Thank you. I'm so proud of myself.
As we've gone along through here in the podcasting, but...
No one wants to hear me sing.
Nah.
They should be in my car with me driving home from work.
I'm not in the car. Do you do a lot of singing?
I do. I do so much singing when I'm alone in the car.
What do you sing?
Whatever comes on my iPod, iPhone.
You don't listen to podcasts?
I do sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to. Like this morning, I was like, don't really want to listen to a podcast. Want to listen to my thing. And then whatever comes up, I kind of just sing along.
I have those days too.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to.
I have those days where I'm just like, because I mean, literally all I do is listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Pretty much from like, I am immersed in podcast goo constantly. Like, I mean, even now, because we're taping this on a weekday.
Yep.
So like,
All you did all day was podcast.
I did all day was podcasts. I got, this guy and that guy, and
All the shows.
I do all the shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do all, and I like dealing with them. I deal with them. So it's a
Sure.
lot of bandwidth.
Yes.
So that's what I do for a living.
Yep. Yeah. And then here we are podcasting.
And then here we are. We have to podcast again.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, I need some songs. I sing Crazy Ex-Girlfriend songs in the car. I sing Daughtry a lot. I sing VV Nation.
I wish I met. I'm like Daughtry adjacent. I wish I had a chance to meet him at some point, Daughtry, because
he's very into comic books.
He's very into comic books.
Big Batman fan, and he's done some art actually for like DC. He's done covers and stuff.
I imagine when they open those envelopes, it probably sounds like one of his songs.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just an email now.
What, you think he PDFs it?
I think everybody does. Isn't it all electronic now? I don't think anybody actually hand draws or even hand colors this stuff anymore.
That's
bullshit. Maybe some of them, but I mean, like a lot of them do it,
So what's the point of are there colorists in comics anymore?
Yeah, there still are.
But they're just like people that just go click, 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 click.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Do they print it out? I have no clue. I have no clue how.
I feel like there's pencils and stuff. And
there can be, but I think some of them are all electronic, all colored on the thing, all typed, lettered, and whatever.
Probably opens up an envelope and it's like, no surprise, or whatever song it is.
It's just, is that the sound that his email makes?
Yeah. That's
it has a special, you assign one of his songs to it. Kind of like when you used to use AOL Instant Messenger, you could have like certain sounds for when your friends joined. Did you ever do that? Did you ever just assign shit?
I didn't really use AOL Instant Messenger a lot. I mean, there was a period.
I did.
There was a period, I think, around 2002 to 2004-ish that I used it, but it was never very. I didn't. It was one of those things where none of my actual close friends used that stuff. Mm-hmm. It was always people that I knew from other things, and it was just always felt like I was annoying them. So
fair,
and that's kind of like my thing now, where it's I don't like using texts to communicate with people.
Oh, I do.
I mean, a lot of people do that now.
I am a fan of the text. I am a fan of the IM.
No, well,
if you can IM me, we have an IM system at work, don't call me. Send me an IM.
Well, okay. Here's how.
And please also send me an emoticon, because I love to send them to people.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. What I really like is Slack. The Slack program. Slack is awesome. However, certain people that I work with that I want to communicate with on Slack don't regularly use Slack.
Well, that's different.
And that fucks me up because if I have just a one-off question.
Yeah.
Because I used to do this with Sideshow all the time. My other colleagues at Sideshow, if you have a one-off question about work or just something you're just communicating about and you want to just drop somebody in a message, you just do it in Slack and they see it. And then and you can communicate with them instead of having to send a bunch of emails or blowing up your phone and using instant messenger or whatever. Yeah. I mean, instant messenger is basically like Slack as far as, the purposes that you're concerned with. But some people are just like, oh yeah, just text me. And I'm like, but this is the work, like texting for me, it's like, hey babe, how you doing?
Yeah.
Talking to my wife, talking to my brother, talking to somebody about making some plans, or maybe talking about, other things that are personal, not, work email, work things that could be like, hey, I need this or whatever. And and also people, that's the thing, is if I'm not talking to them via Slack, they're like, oh, I'll just send you an email. Or at worst, they'll call you.
Yeah. Nobody wants it. I don't even know why phones work that way anymore. Don't fucking call me.
I get mad at phone calls. And I've told call me. And I've told people, and look. I know it's like the only person I talk to on the phone is my mother. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, so to get a more immediate answer within context, you got to do a phone call.
Yeah.
That's usually how the reason goes. Like, I have people that I work with that will require, that just need a phone call because it's easier. Sometimes there's a lot of information going around. You just don't want to sit there and be like, because here's the thing. Also, I'm on my computer most of the time. I'm on iMessage. Mm-hmm. So that's what I use to send a lot of texts. And it's a lot easier to send a text that way when you're in front of a full keyboard instead of fucking around on your phone.
True.
So, and if that's the case, if somebody, if it's not a deep conversation, somebody could just send me a text or send me a phone call. Give me a phone call and we'll hash it out there. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless,
welcome to Message Talk with Jen and Sean.
Oh, no, these are things, people like to hear about this stuff.
People probably agree.
One thing I don't, and I hear people that I just communicate with on Facebook, but I'm not a fan of Facebook.
No, I don't like that thing.
I'm not a fan of.
I took it off my phone. Because I can't look at it all the time because I get too angry. So I took Facebook off my phone. I took Twitter off my phone. Literally the only thing I have left is Instagram.
Right.
Because I get too fucking angry. So.
Well, that's another.
Yeah. I'm just like, can't do it.
But I don't. Here's the thing with social media messaging. I just don't like using it. I'm sorry. I know there's people that maybe, that use it, but it's just, I just can't. Especially for people that know how to reach me via phone. If you really want to text, if you want to send me a text message, send it to me via text. Mm-hmm. Don't, or find some other way, if you have my number, or if you didn't think you had my number, I understand reaching out to me that way. Or if this is the only way that you have communication with me, some people that just know me from Facebook, or some people just know me from Twitter. Mm-hmm. I get it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's some people, I had a friend who was like, hey man, I'm talking to you via Instagram message. And I'm like, but dude, we know each other. You could just text me. You don't have to go and open up your app and do this. That's just horse shit.
So much rage.
I don't know. I have certain ways that I like doing things. Uh-huh. And so when they're deviated from, I get frustrated.
I noticed. I'm aware. I've been with you for a long time. I know this is true.
I have certain buckets of ways that people communicate with me, and if they go outside of that bucket, I go, wait a minute, no, you belong here. I'm moving you over here.
Back into the bucket.
But getting back to Daughtry real quick.
Oh yeah.
I am Daughtry adjacent because
a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, well, Stephen Kramer Glickman.
Oh, that's right.
Is a good friend, apparently. Well, I think he was.
He knew him or something.
Well, he knew. Okay,
someone who knew him.
First of all, Stephen Kramer Glickman knows every fucking buddy. He is.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
He's just one of those guys who's he's had a connection with everybody, and he's a very.
Is he like a Kevin Bacon type?
He could be very well on his way to being Kevin Bacon.
Could I 6 degrees of separation everybody with fucking Stephen Kramer Glickman?
You might be able to if you don't count movies.
But he was like a voice of something.
He was a voice of stuff, yeah.
So you could connect him with the other people he was a voice with.
You can only really do it to Storks and to the upcoming White Fang remake they're doing.
Doing a remake of White
they're doing a live action animated White Fang.
Can I just say wait?
I don't know what he plays. I don't know if he plays the Fang or the White.
Hold on. Live action animated?
It's one of those things.
What does that mean? What are the two?
It's one of those things where I think the animals talk, but it's also
no, is it a Homeward Bound?
But I think their mouths move.
Are they gonna kill all those fucking kittens? I think they did in that movie.
But I think
the spoiler alert: if you loved Homeward Bound as a child, don't look up what happened to any of the animals in there.
Yeah. Because they're not alive.
They all died.
Well,
there were like
they all would
15.
be dead by now.
No, but they were like 5 different versions of like the dog or whatever because they all fucking died.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to find out because I remember it's not like a cartoon.
They did that with something like Snow Dogs, was it? The one where it was like the dogs. And
there's Snow Dogs or 8 Below.
One of
That's
them.
the one with Paul Walker. I almost said.
Paul Levesque? Triple H.
I almost referred to him as Dead Dude.
Well, that narrows it down.
Which, because the first thing I thought of, I couldn't think of his name. I just thought of the way he died.
That guy who's dead. Oh, that one? Okay.
That guy who died in a horrible car wreck. Which, I mean,
again, that
extremely
doesn't
sad.
Really narrow it down.
Extremely, extremely tragic. But that's the thing. That's the first thing that came to my head.
James Dean. He also.
You know what? James Dean
died in a terrible car wreck.
Yeah, he did. Let's talk about car wrecks. This show. But
this is what happens. But this is why we can't do this fucking show on a weeknight. We go off the rails.
Yeah,
we just go everywhere.
We started off talking about Chris Daughtry, and now we're talking about famous celebrities who died in car wrecks.
Oh, what the fuck was her name?
James Mansfield.
Yeah, her.
She got decapitated.
She sure did.
It was like nothing left but her giant rack. That's what I was thinking. She was very.
When I die, please put on my tombstone. There was nothing left but her giant rack.
Well, what if you don't get Mansfield?
It doesn't matter. People will just really want to know about my giant rack.
Did you know Mariska Hargitay is her daughter?
Yes.
I didn't know that until yes. Sort of within the last 10 years.
Why are we even talking about this?
I don't know.
Oh, because we were talking about Stephen Kramer Glickman and how he could he did that thing, the movie with the dogs with the mouths.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out about exactly how this works, but I know he's the voice of not a person.
Okay,
it's not his. Maybe he's not. Maybe he is because he's good with voices.
Can I just say one thing though? Fuck live action remakes of animated movies. Fuck the Beauty and the Beast remake.
Yeah.
Fuck the Mulan remake. Fuck it all. I don't want it.
Does that come out? Is that coming out like soon? The Mulan one?
It's being made, if not in post-production. But yeah. No, fuck it all, man. I don't want that shit. I like my animated with my songs, and because they're so good that way, I don't need it remade.
That's how we liked it. That's why I should say that.
They're classics for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone.
Nobody wants to see them breathing 3D people.
No. And I had to see that movie. It was all right, but it was not what I wanted.
No.
I want the animated version. Because the animated
I think
version is superior.
I think no matter what, you going into that movie you're not going to be won over by it. Even if it was the best movie.
Yeah, no.
It's still going to be difficult to watch.
Nope. Don't like it. No, sir. Don't like it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Stephen Craig Glickman knows Daughtry, and I think at one point they were talking about swapping DC superpowers.
Oh shit!
I think maybe at one point he mentioned something.
You're like, can I get in on that?
I think I did. I think I was like, hey man, does he got like a Shazam I can do something with?
Well, what would you give him for a Shazam?
I got an Orion. I got Plastic Man.
But then you wouldn't have a Plastic Man.
But would you rather Shazam?
Have a Shazam?
Yes.
All right, fair enough.
Actually, I would trade him for Mr. Miracle or Shazam or a Cyborg.
Oh, yeah. Well, no one's giving you a Cyborg. That's a rare one.
Cyborg's super rare. Cyborg was, they sold that for $75 loose at Meltdown Comics.
Yeah, they sure did.
And somebody must have came and bought it because I didn't see it there.
It was Daughtry.
You know, I believe that is correct. I think that 100% Daughtry came in. He drove down one day.
Fuck you, Sean.
It was totally like an impulse buy. He was probably like, I got like 3 of these at home because I'm fucking Daughtry. I need a 4th. I need to make like I'm going to have like the 4 cyborg horsemen. I'm going to name them after the wrestlers or something because I'm also a wrestling fan because I'm Daughtry.
Sure.
I assume he's a wrestling fan too. Because
Why
he's
not?
Like DC superpowers. We can all be friends.
I see how that works.
I feel how that works. I'm actually petitioning right now to be Daughtry's friend. I don't really like his music. I'm not really.
I actually really do like Daughtry's music.
See, that's my in. My wife likes your music, but I like CJ's superpowers.
And I'll tell you, the only season of American Idol I ever watched is the one he was on.
Yeah.
Because I saw that commercial and I was like, that guy's got a fucking great voice. I love it. And I want him to win. And I'm actually glad he didn't. It's probably better for him he didn't win.
No.
And I would go see them in concert. I absolutely would.
You mean him?
The band, Daughtry, yeah. Oh. That's his band. It's called Daughtry.
No, I always find that weird, that last name. Like
last name band?
But it's like, how come it's not like Lee Roth?
Good question.
You know?
Because wasn't it the two Van Halens?
Well, I guess, I don't know, maybe that's what they decided. It's like, well, there's two brothers in this band.
Van Halen's a really fucking great name.
It is a really great name.
Let's be honest. Like, instead of Roth, wouldn't you rather be fucking Van Halen? I know I would.
Well, lucky they didn't decide to name the band Anthony after Michael Anthony, the bassist.
Did he die?
Oh, he's still around. He got replaced by Wolfie Van Halen.
Everybody in that fucking band except the Van Halens have been replaced.
Yeah. No, that's right. Actually, that's right. Yeah, the Van Halen is made up of primarily
Van Halens.
Van Halens at this point, I think. I don't know. I mean, I know they've had some issues. Eddie's still kicking. Eddie had the C. I don't know.
Isn't he a huge dick?
I don't know.
Aren't all those Van Halen guys?
I don't know. If we were friends with. If I could hang out with Daughtry, he probably might know.
Why would he know?
I don't know, because
he's like 40 years older than he is.
But he's like in a rock circles. I'm sure he's had a Van Halen.
If you just have a rock band and they just let you in, they're like, hey, welcome to the circle.
Somebody to the stature of Daughtry.
So and so is a big fuck. Let me tell you all about Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
I am certain that Daughtry has some great Lars stories. Yeah,
no one has Lars stories. I mean, everybody has Lars stories, but everybody knows he's an asshole. That is well documented.
Remember he was in that movie, Get Him to the Greek? He played...
Oh, shit, yeah.
He just randomly showed up as, like, Rose Byrne's new boyfriend. He's just like some guy. I think he just was in a bed the whole time. I think that was his only thing. Right. He just woke up in bed with her, and he's just like, yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, because...
Right.
Which is weird, because I thought Lars had, like, a wife and family, and it's just like...
I don't know. He's probably on his 6th wife. But all I remember, what I really remember about Lars is from Metallica Behind the Music, when there was that picture, and he's wearing that, like, white leather jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's just staring at him because he was, like, obsessed with Axl Rose. Do you remember this?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, he really thought Axl was cool, and he's wearing this, like, fucking white leather jacket like Axl Rose would wear. I just remember this. I want to watch that, actually.
Actually,
why isn't Behind the Music on fucking Netflix?
Probably because of all sorts of rights issues with the music and shit.
Oh, but I want to watch it.
Oh, I know. That Metallica Behind the Music is probably...
That's one of my favorites. I think I've seen it like 7 times. I love it.
It's probably like in the if you're making a top 5 Behind the Musics of all they made, that one was right up there.
Yeah.
I think that one.
Bologna on Hand. I still remember that.
Yeah, that one.
Loser's Lunch.
That's what I always want to talk to Scott Ian about that.
Oh yeah, about how he auditioned for them?
No. That was Les Claypool.
I thought they both did, but I know Les Claypool did.
Yeah.
Where he was joking about like jamming on Isley Brothers tunes.
Yeah. You should go start your own band. And there's like,
he's I will.
So you're really good. I'll start my own band. And then he did. And he started Primus. And it was like, oh, yeah.
I've never been into Primus.
Primus is a hard band to get into.
But I appreciate what they do.
Primus is a hard band to get into. I think you have to commit to a patchouli-based lifestyle.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now. Now I get it, because that would be difficult.
Like
everything has to be made of hemp.
Yes. That's
you gotta have incense and patchouli oil. If you're white, you gotta have white guy dreads. Nobody likes those.
You have to constantly have greasy skin.
Yeah.
Like if you can't really get into a face because you have to always kind of have
no skincare routine. Is what you're telling me.
Yeah, lack of skin care. Like nobody that has ever listened to Primus has ever done Proactive commercial. I am certain that Katy Perry has never listened to Primus.
Well, I think you would be right about that, but I think it would be for a lot of different reasons.
That would be my Q&A thing. It's like, have you ever listened to Primus? Because you got really great skin. Goodbye.
I'm doing an informal survey.
Goodbye, and I just jump out of a window.
Where'd that window come from? We're in the middle of a convention hall.
Somehow he jumped through the wall. What is going on here? What is this weird dream? What is this weird dreamscape I'm stuck in? I'm Katy Perry.
Did you just do a weird quantum leap into? Did you just leap into another?
Can I quantum leap it? Now look, that's That's a comic book or a TV show or something on sci-fi.
What, Quantum Leap?
Quantum Leap, but you're only quantum leaping into people that are asking questions at comic book conventions.
That's a fucking nightmare is what that is. That's hell. That's the bad place.
I think I got a new hit on my hands. I like this idea.
You know what? One of these days we need to go through every episode we've ever done of the show.
Ew.
And I know, right? And write down every show or movie we've ever pitched. Because we must have at least 100 at this point.
Oh, we got too many. We're rich with ideas that will never get made.
Really bad ideas, too.
The worst ideas. The worst. Absolute worst. We're
terrible.
Creatively garbage.
We are creative dumpster fires. Just like, hey, what are they thinking about? Oh, no. It's like that Grandpa Simpson where he like walks into the board, the whorehouse where Bart's working. He's like, do, put the hat. Oh, do, walk back out. That is what people are like when they see our ideas.
That's right. Yeah. Man. No, yeah, no, those are good. Those are bad ideas.
Everything we say is bad.
Except for the show, which
also is bad.
Which is why you should give it 5 stars.
You should give it 5 stars for still existing, yet being so bad at the same time.
Leave us 5-star review and say, Sean, I support your Quantum Leap reboot. And
your quantum comic book question leap thing.
And my name is Scott Bakula. I'd like to star in it.
He's got nothing else to do.
Does he? Wait, what was he in recently?
He was in something recently. Was it Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
Was it?
Because he played a janitor in a hospital, didn't he?
No.
He was in something though. No, Kimmy Schmidt?
No, yeah, no.
Oh, or I'm
blanking on because you're right.
Oh no.
Wasn't Always
Maria
Sunny.
Bamford's thing?
No.
Oh, maybe it was Always Sunny.
No.
It might have been Always Sunny. I think it was Always Sunny. It might have been Always Sunny.
Maybe it was a movie.
No, I think it was a show because it was really fucking weird that he was there. I was like, wait, is that really Scott Bakula? Because they made some weird reference, and then he was actually like a janitor.
Oh, I'm gonna think of it because I don't think it's. Yeah, I'm not gonna look it up, but I know. I don't think it was either of those shows. But yeah, you're right.
I feel like it was Always Sunny though.
You might be right. You might be right.
I think that's what it was.
Well, while we ponder that question, this very important question,
yes,
that can be easily researched.
We could always pull up IMDb, but we're not going to.
Oh, we're not gonna.
No, we're just gonna speculate.
We're just gonna speculate and not gonna wake up in the middle of the night.
We're gonna pretend that you know what? This is the dream of the 90s. That's what this fucking thing is right here.
Wait, was it Portlandia?
Was it Portlandia?
Fuck.
It might have been.
Oh boy.
It makes more sense if he was on Portlandia. No, when he showed up, I was like, "What the fuck is he doing here?"
Oh, it's gonna bother me because I know it wasn't any. I don't think it was any of those shows. Might have been Always Sunny.
But this is what the 90s were like. This is what before the internet was. You'd ask a question, just be like, "Do you think it was?" I don't know.
Yeah, no, you never got.
This is what it was.
You just didn't know.
You know what? If you never remembered that question, you never thought to like go to a library or like whatever.
The library's the thing. Back in the 90s, libraries didn't have that information either.
No.
You couldn't find that out.
Because you know what? They only had like really old issues of like TV Guide and stuff. So you were going to have to wait for like 6 or 7 months for them to get the new issue in.
How did we get out of that decade? How did we end up getting to this point?
I don't know.
Wow.
I know. Because you know what? And if you just forgot you asked that question, you'd never figure out that answer.
My mind is blown. It's like I just listened to Primus. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about our book for this week.
You like cheap comic books, right? Well, I'm Professor Allen, and I talk about cheap comic books on the Quarterbin podcast. In every episode, I'll dissect a single comic from my collection, as long as I paid no more than 25 cents for the issue. Forget about $4 new comics that you can read in 4 minutes, or crossover events that can cost $100 to collect. Join me in the Quarterbin, where even bad comics are a bargain, and good ones are a steal. The Quarterbin podcast is part of the Relatively Geeky Podcast Network. Visit us at relativelygeekypodcast.blogspot.com or search Relatively Geeky or Quarterbin Podcast in iTunes. I guarantee it'll be worth every penny.
All right, we're back here in our worst collection ever with our book for this week. It is Annex, Crucible of Power.
Oh, God.
Number 1 from August.
You bought this garbage.
I sure did. August 1994. Real quick, Jen was correct.
It was Always Sunny.
It was Always Sunny. Scott Bakula did appear in an episode where they went back and they became...
They became black.
They became black.
The gang turns black or something.
There was the gang turns back.
And it was
time.
a weird.
But it was like
it was also a musical thing. But
Yeah.
he was like a janitor at like the nursing home or something.
Right.
Yes.
But also, Scott Bakula has been very active on NCIS New Orleans.
No one watches that show.
No, everybody watches that show. We just don't.
We don't watch
And
it.
nobody that we know
That's
watches
the
that
thing.
show. Except
You know what?
for
Your mom probably watches that show.
My mom. I don't know if my mom has watched that show.
Yeah, my mom does not like
I don't think that's on her radar.
I can tell you that
Maybe on my sister's radar.
my mom has watched NCIS, the original. She does not like it. She frowns upon it. So it's it's hard to find because I hear about all these shows. I'm like, who the fuck watches it? The answer is usually Sean's mom.
It's usually my mom,
Sometimes my parents.
my sister, or
Definitely your sisters.
somebody from Buffalo is watching it.
Yeah.
Because that is where, because with my brother, we came to visit, and some of his friends were talking about like all these celebrity things, and I'm like, oh shit, they actually like watch all this shit.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like all this stuff on our radar. I was like, I don't know because none of this stuff is on our radar. Because I don't. Well, here's the thing: we don't watch TV.
We're cord cutters.
We're cord cutters, but we also don't watch like just TV. And like here we are. It's a Tuesday night. We're not watching any network TV. There's shows on.
Well, yeah. I mean, it just literally.
Am I missing Alex Inc?
Is that a show?
Yeah, the one about the podcast and Zach Braff.
Oh, yeah. That has nothing to do with podcasting.
Well,
At least the preview doesn't seem like it has
the
anything
bill.
to do with
Okay.
podcasts.
Here's the thing. Here's what that show has to do with podcasting. The I in
Looks
the
like
logo
a Wi-Fi thing.
Looks like a Wi-Fi password, a Wi-Fi thing, and on the billboards I've been seeing,
Oh.
because the billboards it's just Zach Braff surrounded by family,
Oh, great.
but then there's also all these little like drawings of things, and one of them is an iPod, but it's like an old iPod with like earbuds. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this?
Maybe you'll have to see if it comes on Hulu.
I think I'll watch it, but I just
Because it took me. How long has The Good Place been on?
for a couple of years. It hasn't been on that long.
I think they just started the second season or the third.
No,
or
they're gonna be well at least the third season.
Yeah, I literally just started watching it yesterday.
Do you like it? I've heard it's something that it's got a nice vibe to it. And
It
people
has
really
a
like
nice vibe, and there are some good jokes, but I don't know if I love it. It's not like, watching Crazy Ex-Girlfriend where it's like really funny and I like it a lot.
Yeah.
There's something about it, and I don't know if because I already knew the twist at the end of the first season going
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ted Danson's good in it, though.
Yeah.
He looks great, by the way.
Ted Danson.
Yeah, he looks great. All tall and thin, wears these great suits, got this white hair. He looks great. Good for Ted Danson.
I just always remember that Tim and Eric sketch. where
Little
it's
dancing man.
Tiny Dancing Man with Peter Cetera singing the song Tiny Dancing Man. That's something I like watching from time to time. That and the Tiny Dancer Man with Zach Galifianakis. It's just, I missed the boat on Tim and Eric. I don't know. Not everything for them isn't for me, but
No,
there's some stuff on there that I think
that one I always appreciated. That sketch.
that one's a good one.
Most of their stuff I did not
Yeah,
appreciate.
it's too weird. But
which is odd because God knows I'm fucking weird.
it's something like, again, we've talked
But
about.
it's like I'm not high enough. Like I
don't know if you have to be high.
There's some of their sketches you have to be high.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I don't smoke weed, so I'm just like, oh, this is not funny when you're sober.
Yeah. No, we have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
So anyways, Annex. We might as well be high reading this.
This is terrible. This is issue number 1, as we said.
So this is a miniseries. It's only a 4-issue miniseries.
Does this guy ever come back?
Oh, does he come back at all? I think at some point he's back somewhere, but he's not really like around. Like basically, so Annex, Crucible Power, August 1994. This is issue number 1. He debuted in a Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man annual from this, I think either from this year or from the year before, probably from this year, where in each of the annuals through Marvel that particular year, they created new heroes and they packaged them with little cards.
Okay.
So all these different heroes were, going around these universes, and Annex.
I think this is not the first time we've run into one of these new heroes.
No, we probably, it's kind of like this around the same time that DC was doing the bloodlines.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it was around, actually it might have been the same year, maybe not. Maybe this is the year after. So I feel like they're following those footsteps, which Why? I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't work for them either.
It didn't do that great. But Annex is one of these guys, and apparently he proved notable enough to have him get his own miniseries. And here he is on the cover. And Annex basically is a...
he's got a suit. He's like Iron Man.
He's basically an Iron Man. I'm trying to think, like, what kind of other guy you can be compared with. He's not like Iron, because his face isn't covered.
Well, no, his face isn't covered, but basically he gets all of his powers from this suit.
Right.
That is created by, there's a scientist in here that creates it for him and helps him do what he needs to do. So he's almost like an Alfred character.
Yeah.
He's got like an Alfred, but it's not because this guy's rich.
It's just science.
It's just he's sciencing. Yeah, I mean, that's really the closest I can come to it is he's like an Iron Man because he doesn't have any powers when he's outside of a suit.
No, he's actually considerably less depowered out of the suit because the guy in there
He's missing a leg.
Is Alex. I think I want to say his name is Alex Ellis or something.
Sure.
He is a Gulf Storm War veteran.
Yes, and an amputee.
And an amputee, so he's missing like part of his like right leg or something. And what this suit does is that he's called Annex because the suit was created to allow people to replace limbs. So in this case, and so I think
I feel like this is a bit of overkill if you're just going to try to replace literally from the knee down. He gets an entire suit.
True. I mean, maybe the technology, because I think what happened was the way that, and this kind of described later in the book, that, you know, the purposes, like the scientist that creates this is like, hey, we got this suit and I want to be able to create limbs for people that don't have limbs. And then the people, his boss is like, oh, how about let's do it for war? And so basically, they create this suit. And I know that I guess technically this is a prototype. So because this looks ugly as hell.
Oh, it's bad.
Because you have
there are some problems with the suit, which I think we can talk about.
Well, you can talk about let's talk about the color schemes. Basically, he has green arms and gauntlets and everything, you know, and he has it all like basically the undershirt of it is all green, but then he's got like this purple chest plate.
It's almost like shoulder pads, like
chest
football.
plate. Yeah,
ones.
and there's like he's got purple belt. He's got green boots. He's got blue pants.
He's got blue pants,
and he's got these red bug eyes, and he's got these tubes that come out.
See, this is what I didn't understand because there's a picture of this later where it looks like he's wearing like an oxygen tank backpack, and it has a tube in it, and the tube attaches to his wrist. And I'm like,
well, the tubes do attach us, as you can see on the front here. Yeah,
but why? Why would you have that? That's like when they do Bane.
Yeah, and why?
When he's got the tubes outside, and the way you just defeat him is you cut the stupid tubes, and that's how you do it every single time. Like, why would you want? Why do you have this exposed?
That's the one thing that I think Dark Knight got right about.
They did.
About that
because they were like, oh, here's not they don't have these stupid tubes.
He's tubeless.
He
has sans tube. Yeah. But and so also too, basically what this suit can do is not only does it replace his limbs, but he can also it has like a database of weapons that he can like
they just like
connect with, and they can appear, and he can use them. So he can I don't know if
all he has to do is think about it, and even before he finishes the thought, like a gun will pop out.
Yeah, like a gun or a shield or whatever. So that's his deal. And basically, he's Spider-Man's buddy from this book. And so we start off with J. Jonah Jameson yelling at this
new young reporter.
His name is Kenny Brown. He's yelling at this reporter kid who looks like fucking.
He looks like one of the Newsboy Legion kids. Yeah, he does. Right there.
Well, he's got a bow tie. Yeah, he's got an ugly bow tie, and he's just looks like your 1990s schmo kind of character.
This is what I never understand is like whenever they're like, let's draw a young kid, not kid, but like
young adult,
21, 22.
Yeah,
right, coming in, trying to learn the ropes. They always draw them super tiny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do know that when you're like full grown by then, like you don't have to be like pint sized just because you're young.
Yeah.
I never understood. And he's tiny and he's wearing glasses.
Well, I think the last time they actually got that right was when Eddie Brock debuted, because Eddie Brock, just a bigger blonde dude, who ended up getting jacked. And, but even though in the Spider-Man movies, they're like, here's Topher Grace. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But was that the last thing Topher Grace ever did? Let's just say yes.
I don't know.
So J. Jonah Jameson's like, blah, 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 I need, your work sucks. You need to get better work.
Yeah, basically he's like...
Basically, fuck you. You're not doing anything good. You're not giving me anything I need. So go out there and do something, or you're always going to be a bullshit cub reporter.
Yeah,
he's basically what he's saying.
He's Jameson's quoting like a bunch of poets and shit. Like he's not just... It's like... J. Jonah Jameson's got a flair for the dramatic.
Oh, he definitely
I've always noticed. You know what actually, real quick, I like about him is in the Lego game. He has one of the sonic attacks that can break the glass Legos. And what he does is he pulls out a typewriter and he types, and then he goes, ah, and it explodes the glass.
Okay.
He just gets really angry because that's
fair.
That's what J. Jonah Jameson does. But yeah, so he's basically like, go give me some Spider-Man, and this Annex guy, he's friends with Spider-Man, go do something about it, right?
Yeah.
And so this kid's like, nah. Yeah. So he goes out and
he's like, no, I'm outside.
He's like, no, I'm outside, and he's like, oh, where am I gonna go and find these superheroes? Like, they don't just show up, and it just happens that he looks up in the sky, and Annex and Spider-Man are flopping around in the sky.
Yeah. And this is really dumb because it's like, they're so low that they have the way they're introduced at the bottom where it's like, it's Spider-Man and Annex are actually speech bubbles coming up from the street.
Yeah. So apparently they're super low. And even they call that out.
And here's his dumb jetpack.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Well, it's a jetpack. It's just probably some sort of energy source pack.
Yeah, but then it's got this really long...
Right. No, his tubes are ridiculous.
But it's only one tube.
He's got a tiny tube.
Well, he's got little tubes.
But he's got a big tube.
Huge tube, kind of like almost like a Doc Ock arm.
You look at these little tubes up here. He's got a lot of tubes.
Too many tubes. What is this? Is this like a ventilation? Is this like a snorkel? Is this like a laser?
Snorkel. Oh, he's a snork.
Because it's like this, almost like a tiny little cannon coming up beside his face.
Yeah.
But it could also be a snorkel.
Maybe you can make it as maybe that it helps create like head weapons.
Sure.
Like he's got one of those. Because I love me a good head weapon.
Like, define a head weapon. What's a good head weapon?
Well, like anything where there's a gun attached to your head. And I say this.
Are there many?
Well, I'll say this. G.I. Joe in the later years
Fair enough.
had a series of guys.
It's because they ran out of places to put guns.
That 100%. Because there were a bunch of guys that had gun cannons. Like, literally, I'll have to show you later.
Why would you ever do that? Could you imagine, number one, the sound? Like, you would...
We wear a helmet.
That's not going to do anything. Not only that, but could you imagine, like, the kickback?
They got Bose headphones underneath.
You do like those headphoons babies wear when they go to concerts?
Yeah.
But then, so it fires. Could you imagine
My baby will never hear the sounds of lit.
Can you imagine the kickback? Just...
Maybe all they do is work out their neck muscles.
Oh, so they've got shoulder neck.
Yeah. Like Brock Lesnar's the only one that can use a head weapon.
Maybe Batista.
And
Batista could probably pull off a head weapon.
I am convinced that Brock Lesnar owns a head cannon. Because Brock Lesnar loves his guns. He is
and so he's got a head cannon.
He definitely has a head cannon that he has shot out into the forests of Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan?
That's where he lives. He lives up in like the fucking Canadian wilderness and shit.
That's a good place for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he hates coming anywhere. He's just a grumpy giant man who just wants to sit at home and shoot things with his head cannon.
And doesn't he like to muck barns or whatever? Like muck out stalls and...
Muck stalls?
Yeah, when you go muck out a stall, you clean a stall.
Oh, like a horse stall?
Yeah.
Probably. He's a farm boy. He knows how to do all that stuff.
And he's Canadian?
No, he's not Canadian. He's from North Dakota.
Oh, but he lives in
Canada. Now he lives in Canada because at one point he was I think he made his money in the E the first time around. He was like, fuck this, I'm going to Canada. And he just, whatever. But he probably has properties other places. Mm-hmm. Let's look up Zillow.
Let's find Brock Lesnar's property.
Let's find Brock
How much
Lesnar's.
is it worth?
Yeah, let's see if there's there's a Google Earth picture of him using a head cannon.
I'm certain there must be.
But yeah, so maybe that's what that's for. And so basically Spider-Man's flopping around with this guy for some reason. I don't know why they're hanging out together.
I don't know what they're doing.
But basically, he's doing like some sort of test diagnostic, and I don't. It's never explained why they're hanging out with each other.
They're just hanging out because you got to put Spider-Man in here so people will buy it.
So this Dr. Bardo, who's basically Annex's dude.
El Barto.
El Bardo.
Yeah.
El Bartman. He is. He goes out in the street and he's like, "All right, well, we shouldn't be testing this that early, but
here's a car.
I'm out here. I'm gonna go out and
it is a test run because this car that they see like driving out of control doesn't have a driver.
Wait, so you think this is on purpose?
I think so. Isn't that the whole idea? So he's like, oh, here, I'll just think about this gun. And he shoots it, and Spider-Man's trying to clean up after him because this guy's a novice, so he's kind of blowing up some buildings.
Oh, yeah, this guy sucks.
He's not blowing them up, but at least knocking shit off of them.
Well, here's the thing. They're in the middle of like a New York City area where nobody apparently is walking around.
Yeah, no. As we know, New York, not populous.
New York doesn't have a lot of people.
No, it doesn't. It's really weird, though.
New York doesn't have a lot of people.
Huge city of 4 people.
The city of 4 people. Here's 3 of them. Yeah. And then, he's just shooting like a random missile and he blows up the fucking street. He just ruins the street.
Oh, yeah, he's just killing all sorts of stuff.
Spider-Man's I just make sure nobody died with all these giant rocks. Well, what is he going to do with the rest of those rocks?
I don't know.
Is he just going to leave them there? I mean he's strong enough to pick them. But he's got to like carry one, walk it to the ocean, throw it.
Well, that's a good question. Does he put it on the ground? Because if he just spider webs it to the building, eventually that web fluid will disintegrate and they will fall.
Right. No, his web fluid only lasts
it doesn't last
like an hour.
Yeah, and then it goes away.
Yeah. People are fucked. We're all God, man. You know what? And things can be shitty now, but we don't live in a world of superheroes.
That's true.
Where we could be constantly being killed because of dumb stuff like this.
Like in Powerless?
Yes.
Yeah.
But not in a funny way.
Not in a funny way. Where you're just like late to work every single day because somebody just picked up a train.
You'd be able to never go anywhere. Because of this, literally because of these fucking rocks.
Yeah.
How does that's a landslide.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the good thing. We might live in a nightmare, but it could be a worse nightmare.
Oh my God. I'm mad at Spider-Man. I'm mad. I'm mad. So anyway, this kid, Goofy Boy.
Like, oh man, taking pictures.
Yeah, this Goofy Boy's taking pictures. Kenny's taking pictures, and he's like, "Oh yeah, look at those guys. Oh yeah, baby."
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, this is a stolen product of Artico or whatever," because apparently that's where this Bardo works.
Sure.
And
Spider-Man webs his camera, and he's like, fuck you, kid."
He's like, "I've seen this kid walking around,"
and he's like,
"I'm gonna ruin his." Gimmick.
He's basically because he doesn't want Jameson to be an ass to him, so he's like, I'm gonna make sure I'm not friends with this kid, so I'm gonna be a dick to him. So Jameson's not a dick to him.
True.
I'm like,
even though Jameson's already a dick.
I was like, Jameson's always gonna be a dick, so don't worry about it. Like, this kid's gonna
No. He says, I hate the thought of Annex becoming a new target for Jameson. He doesn't care about this kid.
Oh, I thought he was going.
He wants to keep Annex out of because he doesn't want. Because basically, J. Jonah Jameson hates Spider-Man so much that anything is related to him.
Yeah.
Like, he will take it down.
It's like Donald Trump tweeting about Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, if you've ever...
got to bring it up fucking all the time.
Yeah, he's always bringing it up. So anytime he's like... If J. Jonah Jameson was on Twitter today, it would just be nothing but like, Spider-Man suck my D.
Yeah.
Or whatever. or just tweets about Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man would definitely be an Antifa. He would definitely...
Spider-Man is part of the lying media.
Spider-Man, show us your certificate.
Oh yeah, where's his birth certificate?
Where's Spider Island? Is that in America? I don't know. Where's the certificate?
Where's the long form spider certificate?
We only deal with American spiders. But so
I want to make sure my wall is spider proof.
So
that motherfucker was down there today too.
What? Where? Spider-Man?
No, Trump.
What's spider proof?
At the wall, he was seeing his wall prototypes today. It's the first time he's been to California since he got elected. He was here today.
Was he in like Los Angeles? Mm-hmm. Oh.
He might still be in Beverly Hills right now.
Oh man, I'm glad I didn't have to go to work.
Right? That would have been a fucking dick dance. Everything would have been shut down.
Because if look, any president,
well, that's the thing.
You're fucking ruining my commute.
That was the thing, because Obama would show up because he was like doing a fundraiser in like the hills or some fucking nonsense, and it was just a mess. And we didn't even, just because he would come into LAX and then they would chopper him up there, it was still a fucking mess. It's even worse. Anyway.
So this kid's like, fuck you, Spider-Man, fuck you, Annex. I'm gonna kick your asses. And so this is a weird deal here. So Annex is like, hey man, thanks for like hanging around. And he's like, do you have any, because Annex wants to be like a superhero.
Yeah,
he wants to
he
be
does.
a part of the gimmick. And
Spider-Man's like, no, you
Spider-Man's like, no. And like this Bardo guy's like, no. We're like,
but this guy's like, yeah.
he's like, yeah, I am Annex. And Spider-Man's like, and he's like, any tips on help on that superhero ring is a valid career move? First of all, it doesn't pay.
No, I mean, I assume the Avengers pay.
The Avengers get a stipend.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to be a fucking Avenger.
Yeah, you got to be hanging around. Basically, you got to freelance for a really long time. You got to work for free before somebody will pay you. It's like interning, and that is a fucking racket, and it is bullshit.
Either you're Reed
and
Richards,
hopefully you're rich enough to go ahead and support yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need that's why
Spider-Man's always broke.
Well, that's what. Yeah, Spider-Man's always broke. Clark Kent is just a reporter. That's how he makes his money. That's how he pays his rent. He doesn't pay his rent.
He has to because he's a fucking farm boy. And there's been many stories where Ma and Pa Kent lose that fucking farm or are about to lose that fucking farm because they didn't come from money.
No,
they're not fucking Bruce Wayne. They're not Tony Stark.
No. So, but it says,
also, Annex speaks in square speech bubbles.
Well, because he's a robot man.
Robot man.
So he's speaking robot kind of, and like, what's his face? Spider-Man's just like, I can't help you there. Not sure if I can help you there. Goodbye.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.
and Annex is like, oh, what's up his ass? I'm like, I don't know. You're just asking him, like, you're basically like going up to like The Rock and be like, hey man, this acting thing looks pretty good. How do I become an actor?
How do I get a leading role?
Why don't you give me some tips of being an actor? How can I be The Rock?
Hey, how can I be the lead in your next movie? And you're like, you know what?
Being in Fast 8, how can I be in Fast 9? Can I be in Fast 9 with you?
Somebody needs to replace Paul Walker because
have they found somebody to replace Paul Walker yet?
Because Scott Eastwood sucked really badly in the last one, so I would be better than him.
They're like, nah, they got Clint Eastwood and said goodbye. The Rock and Clint Eastwood in Fast 9.
What does Clint Eastwood do? Just sit at home and complain about the government?
He drives a chair.
Well, like a lazy boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's in a wheelchair. And he's just he's rotted on ice. He's next to fucking Tyrese, and Tyrese is like, yo man, what's up with that chair? And he's like, fuck you. Ah.
You know what? That would be true. It would be him and Tyrese as comic relief. Which, by the way, I hope Tyrese is never in another one of those fucking movies. He was the worst part. Every one of those movies, he's the worst part.
Tyrese, yeah. I mean, Ludacris is tame. In Ludacris,
Ludacris has things to do.
Yeah, Ludacris is really good in those movies.
Tyrese is just I'm telling stupid jokes, and you're like, shut up, Tyrese.
You would think that some of the stunt actor rappers or whatever be the comic to make them have the funny lines and stuff like that. But no, Tyrese has got all that shit. Tyrese is garbage.
He's very bad.
I mean, I never met the guy, but I just know those movies.
He was much better when he was just a model.
Yeah, he still is. He still is good.
No, but I mean when that's all he did.
Oh yeah. But actually, I really do like this idea of Clint Eastwood starring in the Fast 9 in the Fast and Furious.
It is just a lazy boy with a fucking steering wheel on it.
He only rides chairs. It's wheelchairs, lazy boys.
I want a lazy boy with fucking Nas in it.
He's riding dining room chairs.
And he hits the button, it goes. He noses. Or however.
Nos.
Yeah, I don't think noses is a verb, but you know what I mean.
Oh, and then in the Fast and Furious, that's a verb.
Noses.
Noses.
I'm nosening. Nosing?
Nauseate. I'm nauseating.
Well, that sounds right.
So Annex goes back to the place, and he's like, all right,
lab.
this lab where Bardo is, and he's like, okay, look, we need to. He's like, I want to be a superhero, and he's like, no, man, we gotta
Also, the way he it seems like the thing that holds the suit is a really weird chambery thing. It's kind of fucked up.
It's a chair that Clint Eastwood would ride.
Yeah,
it's basically
it's an Iron Maiden that Clint Eastwood would ride.
He's Iron Maiden. It's a seated Iron Maiden, but but he's basically it's this weird chair that deactivates the suit, and he gets out, and
then that's when you find out that he only has one leg.
Right.
Also, he wears tidy whities.
Oh, he's got to wear something underneath. He can't just be freeballing it.
You could wear jockeys.
What's wrong with it? This is the 90s, man. We didn't.
That's true.
We didn't. In the 90s, we didn't figure out how to have extra length in our.
I feel like there were only two options in the 90s. It was tighty whities or boxer shorts.
I had a boxer short period for a little while.
I think a lot of men did have a boxer short period, and then eventually you switch to the jockey.
Yeah, no,
I feel like that's for the grown man.
Yeah, no, jockeys is the way to go because you got to have support, but you also kind of don't want to just have the.
And it doesn't claw up your ass.
Yeah, you don't want
like a brief would.
Yeah, no, I like. Yeah, I've been a jockey guy for quite some time now.
Yeah, I think most men. I think once you get to like the adult stage of man, you get jockeys.
Yeah, but you do the boxers. Yeah, no. Yeah.
The boxers are when you're a young boy and you want people to see them because your pants are falling down.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do it that way, but I was like, hey, boxers, sweet. But it was kind of it was just weird because I want to explain it, but I feel like.
What, just as like just hanging loose?
Well, like, if he was like, you're sitting and, you can't imagine, you can't let your mind drift when you're wearing boxers.
Oh, about things? Because you're gonna.
About ladies. or whatever, or if you're into dudes and you're thinking about it, I'm saying, but as from my experience, you can't sit there and just be having a thought and then be like, Sean, stand up in class. And, it's like that movie, Perfect.
So if you're wearing a jockey, will that contain?
Jockeys are a bit more constrictive.
Yeah.
It's not by that much, but it's better.
Yeah.
And I think as a man, as a older man now, I feel like I have.
Well, I feel like once you get to be an older man that you have some control. When you're a young kid, I mean, like the wind blows wrong.
Yeah.
And you're getting a fucking boner.
Yeah.
But when, as an older, more experienced man, you can just be like, you probably don't get surprised by boners anymore, do you?
No.
Right. That probably doesn't happen.
No.
You're not just sitting there at your desk and you're like, oh, I just thought of something. Now I've got a hard on.
Well, I just take those random hard-ons. It's just like, hey, this is just life. Welcome to the Boner Talk.
I mean, like, seriously, guys don't like just sit at their desk and get hard-ons, do they? Like, that's not a thing?
I mean, you shouldn't. I mean,
like, you could, though, right?
You could. You could figure it out. Sean Merrick figured it out. That's my
I mean, like, seriously, like, are you just like, oh no, I have to go to a meeting, but I have a boner? Like it's some fucking raunchy comedy.
Here's the thing.
Starring Jason Biggs.
That's pretty much life. Actually, that's pretty much like Jason. Actually, I'm surprised Jason Biggs didn't do just a bunch of movies that were just like based around him getting inappropriate boners.
I mean, he did, but
you're right, he did.
They were called American Pie, but you mean
that's true.
Like in addition to American?
Yeah, I kind of thought that was like hey, it's like American Pie, but it's like in a church, or it's like American Pie, but you're in
an office.
In an office, American Pie, but you're like at a rodeo or something. Like I don't know, just
American Pie, but you're at NASCAR.
American Pie, but you're in space.
American Pie, but you're on a boat.
American Pie, but you're in hell.
I mean, by the time we got to that last American Pie sequel, I mean, that was kind of in hell.
I'm adding that to our book list of ideas.
American Pie, but in hell.
Guys.
We just had like 7 ideas there. But on a boat?
American Pie, but you're in hell. What's it called? American Hell.
It's called 2018.
It's called The Now. So
this book, you can tell this book is stupid. We don't even care.
Yeah. So basically they take the subway. Now we get some hot subway action.
That's right. We do get hot.
And by hot subway, it's an old woman giving up the seat for Annex because
she offers to give up her seat, and he gets so offended and so upset. But really, he shouldn't.
No.
He should just be. I understand that he's like, oh man, I feel really shitty about this leg. But I mean, and I realize this was the 90s, but today, prosthetic legs are like fucking crazy. Like prosthetics are insane. And
I have one. I'm not even needle it.
You get those blade things, man, when you're running.
Like in that Kingsman movie?
Yeah.
Or actually anything. Just watch like fucking people are amazing with these things.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but they've got like ones where you can like get designs on them and shit. And like they're see-through. They're fucking cool.
Yeah.
And not only that, but if they have like now they come with joints and stuff.
Yo, it's fucking.
So if you're wearing pants, people don't even know.
Exactly.
They don't even know because you don't walk weird. You just walk.
Yeah. So I mean,
like I get it. It's the 90s. Maybe you're not there yet, but don't worry, dude.
Don't worry, dude. It gets better, man. You'll get some sweet. They'll figure it out for you.
You're gonna get a fucking cool prosthetic leg.
Yeah. Well, he already has one, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, you got a suit.
He has to wear it.
So he gets like he's like, I used to be whole. And
so then we get Bardo kind of thinking back about this, whole deal about basically he made a deal like I explained earlier, like the scientist was like, the head of this company was like, oh, we should use this for war
not to help people,
and he
because let us kill people because that's what we do.
And he's using his son, attempt to return his son to life, and using Alex as the annexing conduit. So I think maybe at some point, this is from the Spider-Man annual that he debuted in. It sounds like they wanted to use Alex to bring to Annex's old son, this guy's son, somebody's son.
Sure.
Anyway, so
whatever, it doesn't matter.
So they go home, and so they go to this doctor's house.
But there's a bunch of dudes with guns in the driveway.
There's like the men in black are there, and I mean literally they're wearing black suits.
They are, and they've got like these weird space guns, and they abduct the doctor.
Those are big ass space guns.
Yeah, they abduct the doctor right there, and so. Alex runs up to the door and he stops like the wife and the daughter. And he's like, oh my God, he was just abducted. You guys call the police. I'm going to go back to the lab.
And they're like, who are you?
And he's like, whatever. I'm going to go back to the lab. So
Alex Ellis. That's it. It was Alex Ellis.
Yeah. So he goes back to the lab, takes the subway back.
Yeah.
He gets back on the train, goes back.
Give him some miles on that, that Metro card.
Because he's out in fucking Long Island.
Oh, yeah.
Takes it back out.
God, that sucks.
Takes it back.
God, this sucks, man. I feel bad for this dude.
Like this was like
no wonders he got so angry on the train.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to Long Island.
Because now he's like, shit, I gotta go back on the train,
and I have to go to Long Island.
I gotta hurry my ass over because he can't get. I mean, nobody gave him a ride.
Yeah,
I think
there's
walked.
no Uber.
No, there's no Uber.
No cabs aren't coming out to Long Island.
No.
So,
God.
So he makes it all the way back, but by the time he gets back, the daughter is there.
Yes.
She was at the house. Now, I'm assuming she took a car. Probably could have given him a ride.
100%.
Just saying.
If she was headed there anyway, she could have like drove up by him and been like, hey, where did the mother go? Because the mother is like...
I think she called the police.
Well, the phone is dead, so she goes next door.
Oh, so she's probably waiting with the neighbors, I guess.
And the daughter just ran out.
Yeah, daughter goes off. And then she's like, well, I can tell you I can work all this machinery.
No, she can't work shit. He tells her how to work it.
Oh, he does. Okay, so he tells her how to work it.
Because she ends up at this office. All of a sudden, it just jumps straight from okay, your father's been abducted, so like I'm gonna go. I'm this guy you just met. I'm gonna leave, and you guys get safe. And then the daughter's like, hey, I can help you.
I'll go to my dad's lab. Oh, and that guy's here, and now I'll just help you. Here's my weird suit with all my fucking
tubes
on it, and I'm gonna fly off. And she's like, don't worry about the machine, just save my dad. Okay, like don't worry about the technology, I just want my dad. So he's like, okay, and he's flying along, and he gets zapped. He gets kazapped.
Ooh, kazapped.
By this guy named Brace.
So he gets ambushed by this guy named...
looks like a really jacked Moby.
It's New York. This actually might be Moby.
This is really jacked. He did a lot of yoga.
This is Moby before he was vegan.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah. See, after he went vegan, he kind of lost a lot of that muscle definition, but he still lived really healthy.
Yeah.
But but this is before he was just.
Do you remember that Cribs with Moby?
Do I?
Where he was like, here's my bathroom. I don't have a mirror. It's not an artistic statement. I just haven't hung one up yet.
I don't remember that.
Okay, I always remember that.
The only Cribs I really remember was Ashton Kutcher. This is pre Demi Moore. He had a dude fridge full of Heineken. So remember that. And then I remember...
I think he could have picked a better beer.
Maybe that was...
It is a dude fridge, though. I
don't hate Heineken.
I don't hate it, but I don't like it. I mean, I'm
2003,
sure if I had a dude fridge, it would probably be full of Blue Moon, and people would be like, ew. And I'm like, I like Blue Moon.
Yeah, probably might be full of Blue Light.
Yes, Labatt.
Labatt Blue Light, just to kind of keep it easy if I'm drinking beer.
I could see yours being full of Miller High Life.
Or high life. Yeah, we're living high life.
Always living the high life.
High life is just like drinking water. It really is.
It's true. That's like I drink Mick Ultra, and I'm just like, this isn't
why
even.
am I even drinking
this isn't even beer. Like, it's just fucking nothing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, so he, that, and I also remember this one. I think it was Sebastian Bach, and he had like a CD, like a thing that you would get at a store, like a CD display, and he just had one of those house, and he had a bunch of CDs in there, so I kept his CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you keep your CDs, in a CD rack.
But like not like a display. Like you go to the
I get it.
But it was one of those ones where like they have the and if you remember them, like they had like the divoted
yes
thing, and they just kind of leaned against each other.
Yeah.
And he had that, and he's like, I just went to the store, and they're like, I want this, and they're like, what? It's like all this, and then that's what he bought.
He bought the fixtures.
He bought the fixture. Yeah. Huh. So yeah.
Anyway, so Moby's here.
Moby's here. Moby is ripped as shit, and he's known as Brace.
And he has like electrical fists.
He has electrical gauntlet fists, and then he's just also wearing like just black pants and no shirt.
Yeah.
And
he has tubes coming out of his mouth.
He has like
kind of like when you go to the dentist and they put that thing to like hold your lips back. He's got one of those.
He's got one of those things where like
which is weird.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it, but it's basically like a forceps for your mouth.
Yeah, mouth forceps.
Yes.
Mouthceps.
Can I get Moby in the mouth forceps? That's my.
I like Moby in the morceps.
I feel like I'm just tweeting this picture and just be like, "Is this Moby?" Just see.
Everybody like, what? I feel like no one has talked about Moby.
Just tweet it at him. Just be like, "Is this you before being vegan?"
Do you really think Moby's on Twitter?
I bet he is.
He doesn't seem like the type of guy to be on Twitter.
No, I think he's got something to say.
He's probably one of those guys who like, I'm a Luddite except for my music.
Oh yeah, you're right, Luddite. Yeah,
yeah.
Or if he has a Twitter, but he hasn't tweeted in since 2012.
Probably.
He has like 3 tweets, but he has like 1 million followers.
Yeah, and it was probably like just like a half-formed tweet.
Yeah, it's just something like, "Hey, I'm on Twitter." No tweets.
Yeah.
And there's a retweet of like some like vegan thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a picture of like
a cow.
A cow, but like a heart by it because he loves animals.
I love animals.
Yeah, and then that's it. Guys, tell us about Moby's Twitter. Please leave a 5-star review.
Let us know about Moby's Twitter.
Yeah. So anyway, this Brace guy is fucking around with Annex, and basically his deal is he absorbs power through his metal fists or something like that, and he's a conduit for electricity and power, and he uses that to beat up.
He's kind of like a parasite, but only for electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as this is happening, the doctor turns on a homing signal, and Annex starts following towards him.
Mm-hmm. And while fighting this Brace guy.
Yeah, and Annex is using his powers. Like he gets almost hit with a water tower, and he uses like a waterproof shield apparently he can create.
And of course Spider-Man's not here to save any of this stuff from falling on innocent people.
No.
So and then somebody stops Brace. It looks like a woman who's wearing heels, but we only see the shadows.
Yeah, we don't know who this is, but apparently this is somebody that
gets out of a car, talks to Brace like, "Brace, what happened?" Because
what they do is they want his armor, but they want to kill him, but not take the armor.
So they don't want to damage the armor.
What they need to do is they need to, since they've already seen him,
shoot at the mouth.
Shoot at the mouth. Just like shoot like a bunch of things into his mouth and up into his brain.
Right.
And then suck out the body and just take the armor. I mean, literally. I mean, that's all you need to do.
Like sucking a crab out.
It's like crawfish.
Gross.
I mean, that's essentially what's going on here. If you want,
pretty much.
He's dumb enough to have his nose explode.
That's true. Shoot for the mouth.
Or fucking chop his nose off.
That's the only skin he's showing is his nose and his mouth. So if you want to shoot him without hurting his armor, that's where you got to hit.
Or fucking grab him and shove something down his throat and fucking puree his organs.
That sounds gross.
Yeah, well, if you want to just get the body and then you can
puree.
Yeah, and then just peel off the armor and leave his puree there. I mean, I don't know. I'm just look. I'm trying to be constructive here.
They're like field stripping this guy, basically. Is what you're telling me.
So
field dressing or whatever it's called when you hunt and you like take out the organs before you take your kill back to the wherever.
Yeah,
because if you shoot a caribou, you have to like get its organs out like right there.
Yeah,
I saw that on some show about people who live in Alaska.
Yeah, no, you gotta, fucking hunting caribou and like moose and shit. That's like a big deal.
Oh yeah, it was really a big fucking deal. And if you get one, you have to like get all that shit out because it immediately starts like decaying and if you leave it in there, it spoils all your meat. So you have to basically disembowel them and leave the intestines and the stomach and whatever, just like leave it right there in the snow, and then you can take the rest of the caribou back with you.
Caribou.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Moby did not tweet that, by the way.
No. And you know what? If we ever get lost in Alaska, I now know what I have to do if we kill a caribou.
Don't count on Moby. Hang on, we gotta get some meat. There's a caribou. Maybe we should grab it. Oh, well, what does Moby have to say? No.
Eat moss.
Eat moss. Yeah, eat moss.
That sounds great, Moby. Thanks.
By the way, Moby, is this you? So the Annex powers out his suit because apparently, so he does like this big blast to get Brace off of him, and he powers down, so I guess he can't be tracked.
Yeah.
And then he runs away.
Yeah, and that's Brace gets stopped by the lady.
Yeah. And then
in the car.
And then as he's running down the back alley streets, he's going back to the secret warehouse.
That's where the fucking girl shows up again.
Girl shows up in a car that apparently her father has like a space car.
Yeah.
That has all these overrides on it. So, but it's basically just like a minivan.
Can I just point one thing out?
Yeah.
They literally didn't need Annex. Because she waits for the homing signal, she takes the car and follows it and saves her father.
That's right, she does.
Nobody needed Annex.
Yeah.
There's no need for him to be here.
Unless...
Right?
I guess
because
not.
Who saves the father? It's the girl. She does. You see them both walking it out together.
Yeah, it's a very...
It's kind of weird that they did it that way. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, Brace is like, all right, bye, lady. And then he's like sucking out power from the power lines while that's happening. Then we go back with the doctor. And
I do like this panel here. It's a weird...
It's a humongous gun.
Well, it's like a weird like perspective panel.
Yeah.
Because one of these guys is like holding a gun to the doctor's head, and he's at the front of the panel, and the gun is like gigantic. It's like, you know,
it's like literally 3/4 of his head.
Pretty much.
It's quite a large gun.
So as they're going through this place, because they're like, hey, what, you know, because he's got the secret thing, and they're all like, oh, what is this bullshit place? And he's like, this is my secret hideout, you idiots.
Yeah.
And he tries to go in, and has
his
like
watch has like special shit.
Yeah.
It's basically a Bond watch. It like electrocutes people and whatever. He knocks these people unconscious.
He goes, I pray they're only stunned and their feet are smoking.
Yeah, those dudes are dead.
I'm like, what do you mean I pray? Like, they're dead, dude.
You murdered those men.
Yeah, you murdered those guys. And as she goes in...
And see, there she is. She gets the dad, and that's when Annex shows
Wait a minute, when is... So, no, what happens is she goes in... No, okay, check this out. So they go in, he goes into the secret thing, and his daughter's already there with Annex, and he's getting into this Iron Maiden, or into this suit.
But he was just in the suit.
Or something. He's getting...
Why is he getting back into it? I don't know. There's some weird logic thing going on, because they were in a car.
Yeah.
Now they're at this house, and Annex is putting his suit back on, which he already had on. And then this doctor saved himself? Or they
he powered...
found
No.
him?
What happened is... No. What happened is... No.
Oh, because he needs to recharge.
Yeah, he needed to recharge. What happened is, though, the guys took him to his secret warehouse. Because they were like, we want to go get that suit. And he's like, fine, go here. And so he went there, and as they're going in, he fried those guys in the doorway. And it just happened at the same time that the daughter was there with Annex, and Annex was recharging. And they're like, Annex.
Again, nobody needed Annex.
Yeah.
This guy saved himself.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, he pretty much just went in there, and he killed... Yeah, the doctor just killed a bunch of dudes. And then he's like, okay, shit, well...
He's like, oh, Annex, you're here. Why don't you use the suit to go do whatever you're doing?
No, he goes, no, you need to take this suit off because Brace... Because he goes, oh no, Brace. Because Brace can track him with his suit. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, whatever, I'm going to go find him. And so he goes off, and... He goes off and starts...
Brace finds him.
Finds Brace, and he calls him. He's like, you man enough or you machine enough to get me?
He's like, how dare you call me a machine?
Yeah, I'm like, well, you're pretty much like Moby machine.
You're Moby.
If you call him, he's like, come on, Moby, let's do this. He's like, fuck you, I'm not Moby.
He's like, you were never good. And he's like, fuck you. And so
Porcelain's a shitty song.
And then this kid, Kevin or whatever his name is.
Oh, I forgot. I already forgot
The journalist guy. He's like, oh, I must have fallen asleep here in his car.
How did you just know to hang out by this place?
I don't know. And he's like, oh man, aren't I lucky because here's this crazy fight. So he starts taking pictures of these guys as they're going at it.
Yeah.
And they're fighting and they're fighting and they're fighting. And so eventually,
Yeah, Annex is using, again, I just want to point out, Annex
Shields,
is using his power. He's developing giant guns. Yeah. He is a very 90s dude.
He really is. He also has belts.
He's got a lot of belts.
He's got belts around his thighs. But then he develops, he manifests a gun that actually absorbs energy. So it sucks all of the energy out of Brace. And Brace is like, he's like, well, now, you don't have any energy. He's like, well, there's still you. So he grabs Annex by the leg and he sucks all the power out of his suit.
Right.
And so now he's like, I'm fully recharged as Annex goes like falling.
Yeah, because we go back into the
lab,
and it says annexing suit, life support system terminated, and basically
zero heart rate, zero respiration. He's dead.
He's dead.
And then it says next issue.
Well, this is funny because I think it's silly because the daughter's like, Dad, you have to understand, I was worried about you. And then this explosion happens, and she's like, oh my God, what was that? And the father's like, that was the end of Annex. And the daughter's like, no. But I just like the father's like, that guy's dead. Mm-hmm. he's not just like freaky. Like, I don't know.
I mean, he's already killed like 6 people. So what's one more?
Yeah, this guy would be a great commissioner of Gotham.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He's like, oh, another dead person.
Yeah, this dude murdered.
What are you
Bardo
gonna do?
Dude murders he's a murderer.
Yeah, he's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, he's self-defense, but you know.
Yeah. But he's used to seeing dead people.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, and that's it for this issue. Next issue is Circuits of Vengeance, which, LOL.
Yeah.
And there's no letters page because this is the miniseries. Mm-hmm. Nobody gives a fuck. And it's the first issue. So that's it for Annex, Crucible Power #1 from August 1994. Would you read the next issue of this?
No.
I'm actually going to track the rest of these.
Of course you are.
I actually have the last one of this.
What is with you and these weird-ass heroes?
I just want to know what's going on.
You can't read the Wikipedia?
Well, that doesn't tell me everything.
Okay.
I want to experience it. I just don't want to have a computer tell me what's going on. Because usually it just says, oh, well, he fought somebody and then that was it. I'm like, I want to kind of see what else is going on.
Fair. All right.
Good
for you.
Should I? Yeah. I don't know.
It's only a mini-series. You only got 4 to find. If you already have one, so you only have 2 left.
Yeah.
half of it.
I'm a curious boy.
You certainly are.
I have the same kind of deal, like when it comes to like other miniseries, like Gargoyle, Jack of Hearts. Like I'm the kind of guy that's like looking, like when there's somebody like who's looking for this, Sean's looking for it.
Sean is looking.
U.S. Agent. I'm tracking that down, which we did do on the show.
We did twice.
No, we didn't.
He's been we did one U.S. Agent, but he's shown up more than once.
U.S. Agent's been around. Yeah, he's been around. So
he's shown up.
Yeah. So but I'm definitely checking. I'm going to track the rest of these down.
Yeah.
And look at this costume. God, it's just so ugly.
Well, does it get better?
No.
Oh, all right. It's very 90s.
This is very 90s. This is actually exactly like...
Look at those belts.
When you think of... Yeah, what are the belts serving a purpose for?
There's belts and there's gears and tubes and the gauntlets have wings on them. I mean, like,
I don't know. Well, okay. I don't know if these are so much belts as they are maybe like...
That's a belt.
Well... I mean, it looks like a belt.
It's a belt.
He doesn't need a belt, though. Actually, this is a belt, too. Why has he got belts?
Because it's the 90s.
But he's not wearing pants.
Doesn't matter. It's the 90s. Put belts on him. You know
put a belt on it.
Portlandia wants to put a bird on it. This guy put a belt on it.
That'd be great if they had a sketch about comics in the 90s.
That would be amazing. If there was a sketch where it was just like... basically those characters from Portlandia, and every time there's like, what about this guy? Put a belt on it.
Put a belt on it.
And it was just like, oh man, finally it's just like some dude drowning in belts.
Well, we've talked about this a lot on the show about how there should be a guy that has a gun that shoots belts.
It should.
I think, the 90s and belts, man. I used to have those, do you remember them? They used to have those lattice belts.
Oh yeah.
I used to have those.
Yeah.
I used to do the thing where you...
Oh, yeah.
And you have it hanging down.
Yep. And you just like a loop.
Yeah.
And then it hung down. That was a thing back then. Mm-hmm. That was a thing.
That was like a show of like confidence.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That
was like when we were watching whatever that wrestling thing was the other day, and that one guy came out dancing, and he had one of those like green shirts, but it was like a silky corduroy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silk shirts, you know.
But it wasn't a silk shirt. You know what I'm talking about? It was like the corduroy. Right. It was kind of shiny.
Yeah, that was like the 90. You kind of went from silk to like kind of like a corduroy kind of thing, or like polyester, like shiny polyester.
And it was like lime green, and I was like, every dude I know had one of those.
Oh, Sean Merrick had those too.
Of course you did. You were a person who was alive in the 90s. Of course you had one of those.
I was wearing those at places. You know, I was trying to be handsome.
I remember that was back in the day, man. That was every dude I know looked like that.
It's hard to be handsome.
Yeah.
It's hard to be handsome.
The Sean Merrick story?
Yes. So that's it for this week's show. Thank you for listening. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. On Instagram, you can see my wide collection of Starbucks bathroom selfies. Mm-hmm. Those are pretty. Those are fun. So many pictures in Starbucks bathrooms. And you can find us on Facebook, Worst Collection Ever. You can find us at gmail.com, worstcollectionever@gmail.com if you want to send us an email.
Yes, and then of course.
Does anybody want a cat?
Yeah, we'll have a drawing and we'll give you our cat.
Yeah, we're gonna give our cat away.
Yeah, no.
Because he's being kind of a dick.
No, we'll you know what, we'll deal with him.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. You heard me.
Oh,
He's giving me looks.
He gives us like, he knows when we're talking about him.
It's like, you want to give me away? I don't want to give him away.
No, you'll stay with us.
But he's an asshole.
The world is knowing that you are shit. You already said Facebook, right?
I did.
And and
Gmail. Yeah, I said it all. Give us
YouTube, the iTunes?
No, I leave that for you.
Oh yes,
that's yours.
Very important. Yeah. Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Or anywhere you get your podcast.
Yeah.
We get this podcast. We're on Stitcher. We're on SoundCloud.
All the things.
Just give us a 5-star rating or whatever it is that you rate on wherever you go. That would be awesome. Also, real quick, I want to promote this. I am on the most recent, as of this episode, I am on the most recent episode of the DC Comics Presents show.
Yes, talking about the Creeper.
Talking about Superman and the Creeper with our good friend Russell Bragg.
Yep.
He is the host of that show, and you can find that show everywhere where you get your same place you get this podcast, on Apple Podcasts. Just look up DC Comics Presents show, and I am there talking about DC Comics Presents from 1985. It's number 88, I think, and is with Superman and the Creeper, and it is dumb.
Yeah.
It's a dumb book. It's a Crisis crossover too, which woof.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dealt with that last week.
We sure did.
Woof.
Yeah.
But, yeah, check it out. Russell does a fine program. You need to check that out. So, thanks again for listening, folks, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.